7:05 for now. A Belfast-based company has announced plans to invest £20 million in a new public electric vehicle charging network across Northern Ireland. So they aim to have around 1,500 new charging points in 350 locations across the country. Thomas O'Hagan is Weev's Chief Commercial Officer. Morning, Thomas.
Morning, David.
Why now? What's the drive behind this move? 20 million is a lot of money.
A lot of money, yes, but it's much needed infrastructure across Northern Ireland. The investment, I suppose, is in response to growing demand for charging infrastructure, with Northern Ireland massively playing catch-up in this regard.
You say 350 locations. Roughly how will they be spread out? Essentially what I'm asking is how many will we get here in the Northwest?
In the Northwest, currently we have 12 locations under review by our team. The charging locations, or Weev hubs, will be spread right across the province, trying to meet the needs and demands of the EV driver.
So you'll be able to charge a couple of cars at each location, is that the idea?
Yeah, the idea is a Weev hub will be configured to have maybe 4, maybe 5 charging stations, that the users can get a charge and can get enough charge that they can go on their journey.
Mm-hmm. So this then, it's a wholly private undertaking, like there's no public money involved. This is a private company doing this. Do you think that there's a sort of short-changing from Stormont in terms of the infrastructure here?
Well, Stormont have obviously invested through the e-cars network, but in Northern Ireland we don't have a private and commercial network. Across Europe, the UK and Ireland, there's many examples of commercial networks. So we see this investment as essential investment to bring the EV driver on the charging network that's required.
And what would it cost then, Thomas? Because presumably, you're a company looking to make money. How much would it cost to charge, say, a car or a van or possibly even a lorry by the time that? Because I think 2024 is your aim to have these in place.
Yeah, so the charging network will be a chargeable network from the off. When you look at charging versus what the price of fuel is today, we would see probably a 50% saving for customers that will fully use the charging network. But customers will have a mix of charging at home and at the public network. So customers could be saving up to maybe 70% across the charging.
Do you know what it would cost, though, to charge an average car?
An average car, something like a Volkswagen ID3, probably charge in the region of about £15 for a fully charge. Okay.
So it's still much cheaper than a tank of fuel.
It definitely is.
And then, Thomas, I just wonder, in terms of locations, does this have to, will this be on street or will it have to be in an already privately owned car park? How does that work?
So our plans are to use privately owned locations. The on-street is something that is planned through other funds that are coming out from the government. So our charging network will be on car parks, hotels, shopping centres, where people are actually going already.
So you would essentially be paying them rent to use a couple of spaces worth?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. Okay.
So, and then is there plans to expand this any further into some on-street parking? Because we see quite often, especially here in the Northwest at the minute, there are quite a few of those charging units, for example, that are no longer in use or that simply don't work anymore. Is there plans for you to try and take over some of that e-charging point space?
So the e-charging network is on public land and on the streets. At the moment, our plans are to use privately owned locations, but as our journey evolves and the EV driver journey evolves, of course we'll be wanting to get on to on-street or off-street parking to allow those who don't have maybe access to a private driveway to be able to charge conveniently close to home.
Just finally, Thomas, I wonder, we see a lot of electric vehicles starting to come onto the market now, and we know that the ban on petrol and diesel cars coming into effect. I just wonder, in terms of the length of time, for example, that it charges, that it takes to charge a car, is that something that you see improving over the next few years? And how often do you think that you'll perhaps have to upgrade your own infrastructure then?
Depending on location and maybe where a person is, so if they're somewhere overnight, a slow charge is actually quite sufficient. If somebody is on the road, maybe on a longer journey, our rapid charging hubs and our faster chargers will allow people to charge, maybe get 100 miles in an hour and be on with their journey. The rapid charging hubs will allow customers to charge from zero to full in 20 minutes. So as the EV driver journey evolves and the amount of cars grows, we're going to see more and more demand and more need for these kind of chargers.
Okay, Thomas, interesting stuff. Thanks for talking to us this morning. Thomas O'Hagan there, who is Weev's Chief Commercial Officer, and as Thomas said there, an entirely private network. We did ask Stormont's Department for Infrastructure about how this development and charging fits in with their plans to update the electric charging network in Northern Ireland. We've not got a response to that yet, but we'll bring it to you once we receive it.